welcome to Charm Chats with Kendra
and Kat.
Today we are covering episode 309,
Yes.
Coyote Piper.
Yes, this one aired on January 11th, 2001.
Is this the first one of January?
I do believe it is.
Huh, they must have had a slight mid-season break.
Yeah, it happens.
True.
You know. This is the first episode with Piper's name in the title.
Nice. Have there been any episodes with the other girls' names?
I know we've had at least one with Prue.
Right, yeah.
So
I forget which one. Oh, well.
Which Prue is it anyway?
Oh,
Always.
yes.
Yeah.
Episode 8?
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah,
anymore.
I think it was season 1, episode 8.
Yeah, it was...
Well, you never remember.
I don't...
That is not your strong suit.
No, it really isn't. It's very funny to me as we go through season 3 that I don't remember a lot of the stuff in this season.
That's interesting.
But this episode, I remember bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of miraculous for you.
It is. And I really liked this episode.
I know. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's so much fun.
Guys, it's so fun.
So fun. So, while the title, Coyote Piper, could refer to the type of coyote that smuggles people, like, you know, across borders, usually between Mexico and the U.S., or between Bolivia and Chile.
Okay.
That's
basically
another
across
spot.
borders that aren't supposed to be crossed.
Right. We're fairly certain that it's actually a play on Coyote Ugly, which is a movie that came out in August of 2000, based on a bar in New York City, in which the main character in this movie is played by actress Piper Perabo, which I just really like that name.
Right.
I really like her name. It's
Yeah.
just, it makes me smile that her name is Piper, and then we have Coyote Piper.
That's
just
funny.
Why?
No,
Yeah.
and of course, when someone told me that the movie was supposed to pronounce Coyote Ugly,
You know,
whatever.
no, not so much. Now, side note, there was a Coyote Ugly bar that opened in Chicago. It was
I vaguely
on
remember this.
West Erie, where the Mashed Potato Club used to be.
I do not know where that is.
Yeah,
It sounds like it would have been my kind of a place,
Oh.
especially if it actually served mashed potatoes.
It did. Okay, so the Coyote Ugly bar closed a couple years back. Mashed Potato Club closed in like 2002, I think, and I think they opened in like 94. And the owners were Greg and Craig, and they were amazing. I miss the Mashed Potato Club so much. It was the coolest place. They had, I believe they had drag nights on Monday, karaoke on Wednesday. It was great. And it was, you could either get red potatoes or sweet potatoes. And if you could think of a topping, it was probably in that list.
Oh, man. I want to time travel now.
I know, right?
I would have been so down with this.
Yes. I really wish that I had known you back in like the late 90s when I was there like all the time.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been allowed in.
It wasn't a bar. It was, well...
I was 9.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't have been allowed in. I forget how young you are.
I was a baby. I was a precocious infant.
Yeah, I forget how
Who
young
was
you are.
obsessed with mashed potatoes. I would not have been allowed. Well, no, my love of mashed potatoes might have actually gotten me through the door if I'd known it was there.
Yeah, no, I miss the Mashed Potato Club so much. I actually went there after my friend Ronnie's graduation. We had a little party there, and it was really funny because I have vivid memories of one of the other patrons, not even in our party, one of the other patrons, like, getting so... I don't know what he was on, but he started, like, taking off his clothes. Like,
Well, it was the late 90s, so probably
was.
Molly.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what he was on. All I know is that he started taking off his shirt, and people started, like, hooting and hollering and whatever. And then, I can't remember whether it was Greg or Craig, but one of the owners came over and was like, we have health laws. Like, you can't. You just can't. We're not a strip club. You can't. Oh, but I have vivid memories of that happening, and it was great. Anyway, the other definition of coyote is actually the male version of a cougar. So a cougar is an older female who goes after
the
much younger...
metaphorical male version, not
Yeah.
like... I'm like, but no, cougars are
Yeah. No. A cougar is an older female who goes after much younger men, usually just for a sexual relationship. Therefore, a coyote would be an older man who goes after younger women in the same way.
And the reason that no one fucking knows this term is because that's just seen as normal.
Yeah.
Can you hear the disdain in my voice?
Yeah.
Because it's there.
Yeah. There are many things that...
Although I think the more popular term now is robbing the cradle.
Yeah, that's usually it. Or what was the other one? Jailbait.
Yes.
I believe was the one I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Jailbait. Yeah. It's very interesting to me, the double standard that we have, where if older guy dates younger girl, that's seen as normal. But if older woman dates younger man, that's either weird or awesome, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get right on into it, shall we?
Yes.
We start with an insert shot of two pictures of Piper. The one on the right is a lovely picture of her with her hair down, wearing a green sweater over a black shirt. The one on the left looks to be a younger version of her.
At least as young as the makeup department could make her look.
Yes.
Without cutting her hair or,
Changing
adjusting
her looks
her bone
really in
structure
any way.
or Photoshop.
Yeah. Her hair is frizzy, it's pulled back with a black and white headband, and she's wearing brown glasses and has braces.
And acne.
Yeah, there's a subtle bit of acne on her face for that authentic teenager look.
Yep.
Because, all teenagers have acne. That's, like, the stereotypical thing.
Well, I mean...
It's the easiest
almost
way to
every
show.
teenager will have acne. What they don't tell you is you don't stop having acne once you hit your 20s.
You really don't.
Mostly, you just continue having acne. You have fewer hormones, so generally it's a bit better.
Yeah.
And it gets better as you get older because, again, fewer hormones. But
And
acne does not recognize, oh, you're no longer a teenager. Okay, great, I'll leave. Acne is not smart.
No, and the other thing is that the reason also that it gets better as you get older is because you learn how to deal with it.
This is also true.
So, yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's really cute the way that they do braces to indicate that someone is very young.
Yeah.
That they are a teenager. Because they did it with Prue. They did it with Piper. They will do it again. Spoiler alert.
Yep.
It will happen
this season.
Next season.
Next season?
Next season.
Okay. So, we see that Prue and Leo are the ones looking at these pictures and there's a bunch of other pictures on a piece of foam board.
It seems to be, it says Baker High Class of 90.
Yeah, though it's very funny because it has that at the top. We can't actually see the number 90 on it because at least until a little later in the scene, they keep surreptitiously having somebody standing in front of it. So it was one of those where it's like, I don't know if it was a conscious choice or an unconscious choice.
Also, isn't it now 2001?
Yes.
And so shouldn't it be Class of 91?
Maybe
because your graduating year is the spring.
Not necessarily.
So
though.
Why?
Because it all depends on when you can make the reunion happen. Like my 10-year reunion, you'd think would maybe happen in June when we graduated. They didn't do it until November.
Well, that's fine as long as it's in the year that you graduate.
Technically,
I'm just why would you have it a year earlier? Or a year later, actually.
Well, but if this is January, so it's just they missed it by a month,
Mm-hmm.
I can give it to them there. I'm okay with it. But you want to know the crazy part?
What?
When I was thinking about this and I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be like her 10-year reunion, whatever. This year, 2018.
Is your 20?
20.
Aw.
Yeah.
Next year is going to be my 10.
When did I get old? I mean, seriously. When did that happen?
It's a kind of thing that just happens.
Yeah.
Because, as we all know, time marches on.
Yeah.
And
I have a Double Click song going through my head.
I have something about the slow march of time and a tambourine in my head, so...
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting, though, that 20 years of...
Yeah.
Out of
I was
school.
actually
discussing...
Which
also means, for me, that this year, at the end of November, I will have been cancer-free for 20 years.
Awesome. High five.
High five. I'm so excited about that. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, Colin and Mel and I were all discussing whether or not we were going to go to the reunion. Colin's not so into it. Mel and I are thinking of going. Mel's like, I got to show off my shiny new hubby.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'll have fun. I'll just, like, be the same old nerdy me, but with better clothing.
There you go. See, I didn't go to my 10-year reunion because they scheduled it at a sports bar in Chicago on Black Friday.
Bad idea.
Yeah. So instead, I took a plane to California and babysat my niece.
That's an interesting alternative.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I had much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got to hang out with a 4-year-old who I didn't have to deal with for more than just that bit. Because it was like, I'm your aunt. Guess what? You get to eat all the sugar. You get to play around. We get to play games and watch SpongeBob and like just chill out and be all whatever. And it was great. I don't even think she was 4 at that point because I just thought about that. I was like, wait, no, she wasn't 4 yet. She was younger than that. Because 10 years. So I think she was like 3 or just turned 3. I think. Yeah. So
tire her out with sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Like tire her out. We watched an entire season of SpongeBob.
Well, that shit goes by fast.
Yep. We played, some random kids game. I don't even remember what it was. I got her to dance all over the living room until she was tuckered out and just went straight to sleep, and it was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be interested to go to mine.
Anyway, back to the show.
Yeah.
We haven't had a random tangent like that in a while.
And now it's time for outfits.
Anyway, so Leo is in khaki pants and a gray shirt under a tan jacket. And Prue is in a low-cut goldish,
it's like
creamish,
kind of gold, kind of mithril color.
It's oddly weirdly colored, and it was kind of hard to tell whether it was supposed to be gold or like an off shade of cream. It was just shush.
Either way, it's shiny.
It was kind of shiny, yeah. It's a low-cut goldish colored shirt and brown pants, and her hair is down and a little bit wavy, like she'd had it in braids for a couple of days. Prue mentions to Leo that high school was really hard for Piper, being the middle sister, and compares her to Jan Brady.
And Leo just goes, Jan who?
Yeah, he does not get the reference. So for anyone else who may not get the reference, I will link to the Brady Bunch on the website. It was an American sitcom. It aired from 1969 to 1974 and has been in syndication since 1975. So I'll even link to syndication because people might not know what that is. But I cannot think of the Brady Bunch without thinking of #Becky's Secret Project.
I can't think of it without thinking about Sure Jan.
That too. Oh, my nose! Like, there are so many little things with the Brady Bunch where it's just lovely. The little references that even if you've never seen the entire show, you might know just little things.
I just remember the TV movie that was like half parody.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, Piper calls down from upstairs, basically saying that she's ready to show off her outfit.
Prue tells Leo, be supportive, no matter what. And I'm like, he knows this shit.
Yeah, this little moment was just like, what does she think she's going to come down in? Like a burlap sack? Like, why? Anyway.
Clothes from the late 80s?
I don't know. Anyway.
Piper comes down and we get one of those classic pan-up shots from the feet.
Yeah.
Because male gaze. And please describe what she is wearing. Because it starts off with some high heels.
Yeah, black high heels, fishnet stockings, and a very tight...
No, start from the bottom, like what we see. Because I want people to understand the effect of this shot in terms of the image, the bits you see. Because what the entire...
I apologize.
Like,
okay.
I'm just seeing what you read. I'm like, but this doesn't understand. Like, the first thing you see after the tights.
Okay, so we go from black heels and fishnet stockings to feathered trim And we can tell that it is a very, very tight black and gold dress. And as we come up, we see she is wearing a rhinestone choker necklace and matching dangle earrings. And her hair is very voluminous and slightly curled.
And to top it all off, the gold inlaid panels in this very tight dress are leopard print.
Oh, were they? I missed that little bit.
I believe they were.
I missed that little bit. Yeah.
I believe they were.
Yeah.
And it's got like one of those like bustier style like tops for the cups. It is not strapless.
No, it is not strapless. And the crazy part is,
it looked good.
it looked amazing on her.
And she just taken off the feather trim.
Yeah, you take off the feather trim and you change up the hair.
And
the fishnet stockings.
If it didn't have leopard print.
No, see, I could have even dealt with the leopard print.
I would have loved if it was like blue. Not leopard print, just blue. Like a nice darker blue.
Well, yeah.
As inlaid panels.
Yeah.
Because
that would have been much more classic. I
don't know why. Well, it's probably racism, but leopard print is not considered classy. No. It's considered the antithesis of classy.
Yes, I do believe, and now mind you, this is not a PC term. I do believe the term was hooker chic.
Ah.
So, yeah.
That tracks. Yeah.
Anyway. Prue says that she looks great.
And Leo says she looks really, really, really great.
Yeah, Piper says that 2 reallys would have been plenty, and she thinks she looks ridiculous.
And Prue and Leo don't do the right thing, which would be to immediately go, no, it's not ridiculous. They kind of stare at each other first.
Yeah,
and then Piper gets to complete the thought.
Yeah. Piper thinks that she is going to win the most likely to scare people away at the door award at her 10-year reunion.
That's not what that outfit's going to do.
No, it really, really isn't.
No, it's going to make people come in the door.
Yeah.
And I do mean that literally.
Well, yep. Anyway, Piper walks over to the mirror and starts removing her makeup.
Prue silently motions for Leo to go follow her, so he does.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, this is supposed to be a fun time, seeing old friends. And Piper's like,
in a bit of an accusing tone.
She asks if he was popular in high school, and he attempts to say no, but can't find the words, which means yes.
Yeah. And then he wonders if there's a right answer to that question, and he kind of looks back at Prue, and she just shakes her head no.
Nope.
Like, no, there is no right answer to that at all.
Yeah, Piper explains to Leo that she hated high school. She was a nobody when she was there, and when Prue tries to contradict her, Piper reminds her sister that she was class president and has no idea what it's like on the other side.
Yes, and I think this was the moment that I realized how much I loved Piper and how much we had in common. Now, I wasn't a middle child. I was the baby of only 2 kids. And I was most definitely not in the popular crowd.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But Piper and I have so much in common in the, I hated high school. I wanted out. I absolutely hated every single second that I was there, and I thought it was stupid that we had to deal with it. But, looking back now, I don't want to say I'm glad that things went the way they went, because I'm still not.
Mm-hmm.
I hated high school, and I still do, but I'm really glad, especially in the climate that we're in now, with, school shootings and all of that stuff. I'm glad that my mental insanity, my own, mental issues, I'm not a violent person.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is going to be, since we're recording this.
This is going to be several months after the fact.
Yeah. We're recording this in March.
Just after the national walkout happened.
Yes. And I know this isn't going to go live for a while after that, but the whole walk up, not out thing.
Bullshit.
It's such victim blaming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, here's the thing. I was one of those kids who was the quiet kid who ate by myself at lunch, who didn't really have a whole lot of friends. If random people started coming up to me and being like, you're sitting here alone, let me sit with you, my immediate thought would not be, oh, great, they want to be my friend.
It would have been they're pulling a prank.
Exactly. It would have been, how are they going to humiliate me now?
Yeah.
How are they going to pretend to be my friend and then use it against me later?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are in the mindset of nobody likes me because I'm different, people coming up to you and saying that they like you or that they want to hang out with you will not change that mindset. It will make you go deeper into it.
No, having no reason to be walking up to a person is not going to make them like part of your circle. It has to be an organic thing for you to like join a friend group.
Exactly.
And for kids for whom that's difficult, there's not a lot of opportunities for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And that's why when I found choir and those people, you know, theater kids and choir kids, like, that's where I found my small group of friends. Mm-hmm. And even those friends, I am no longer friends with. Like, yeah, we're Facebook friends, and yeah, we'll, like, say hi to each other randomly, or, you know, go, hey, do you remember this moment? But we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even the friends that I had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, aren't really my friends anymore.
Except for me.
I've only known you for
6.
You know, yeah. But, like, we became friends in a time where we were both adults. We both had similar interests.
That's true.
And then our interests kept colliding.
Yeah.
But, like, my best friend of, you know, however many years before, she's no longer my best friend. You know? She's, like, she has a kid, which she didn't have before, and she's wanted to be a mother for fucking ever. And we don't have much in common anymore. Like, we just don't. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. You drift apart from people. And the biggest thing that I can say in this lovely tangent is, if you have a group of friends who you no longer have anything in common with, and the only reason that you're still friends with them is because you are friends with them.
Or you were friends with them, rather.
And you don't feel like they are contributing to your life in a positive way, you do not have to keep them. Life is too short to keep toxic people in your life.
Mm-hmm. And not even just toxic. Like, if you have to put in more energy to maintaining the friendship than you are getting out of it, like, that's an energy deficit. You don't have to keep that up.
Yeah.
Like, it's not necessarily about cutting them out. It's just like, oh, okay, well, you know, they never message me back or text me
or they anything. Only call me when they need something.
Yeah, just
those friends are the ones that I got rid of first.
Those are toxic, but like, I'm talking about the people where you've diverged for whatever reason. Maybe they've moved away, maybe you've moved away, maybe your dog is making noise during your podcast at the birds outside the window because he's a little birdie bigot. Yeah, I like that. I just came up with that. But, like, just interacting with people takes energy. And if you're not getting good energy back out of it, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, I am very bad at keeping in touch with people. So much so that sometimes people are like, oh, we weren't really friends. I'm like, no, we were. I just, like... You don't understand. I forget about stuff. I have a very short attention span, and I'll get distracted extremely easily. And if, like, you don't live nearby me and don't have a dog or a cat that I want to pet, like, chances are I'm not going to talk to you for a while.
Or you don't have a podcast with me.
Or that, yeah.
You know, like, I really think, like you're my best friend, because you are the person that I spend the most time with. You are the person that I want to spend the most time with. But I really think... And this is not, like, anything against either of us, but I really think if we weren't doing this podcast, we wouldn't see each other every week.
No.
We'd see each other maybe once a month, and that's only if we had the energy to do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Facebook's really important for me, because, like, that's how I keep in touch with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And I really do have to go through and do a culling of, like, people from high school and people There are a couple of people that I literally have never met, and not in the, like... oh, we were in the same groups on Facebook, and so we became friends that way, and we, like, exchanged dog photos. Like, not that way. In that, literally, I know there's this one guy who I think I met online, and
I friended you for one of those Zynga games.
Yeah. I think I actually might have this guy as a friend from the MySpace days.
Oh, wow.
And it's just carried on, and I haven't, like, dropped him.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Spring cleaning.
We never talk.
Spring cleaning in Facebook is a thing
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a few people where I'm like, oh, you're that person I've heard about and I just didn't know it. Maybe I should just very quietly unfollow, and then in a couple of weeks, unfriend.
Yep.
Like, I understand it when people say that ghosting is toxic, but also I'm just like, it's also safer.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's also funny to me, like, I'm friends with some of my old bosses, and one of them is not a good person.
Yeah.
Anyway, that note, back to the episode.
Yeah. So we're getting to recap. Piper told Prue that she doesn't know what it's like being the awkward kid. Right. Prue realizes that Piper is right and apologizes, which was kind of not Prue-y.
Yeah, but it was very sister-like, and
it was very sister-like. It was just much quicker than we've ever seen Prue apologize. Pretty much.
Yeah, a little bit.
She's growing, guys.
Piper then laments about not being able to go as herself.
And Leo's like, wait, is it a costume party?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Like, they're walking to the living room, and he's like, wait, is what?
He assumes she means literally in the sense of, like, she has to dress up as someone else.
But I just love the way that Prue handles it. She kind of shoves him in that, like, don't be a moron kind of way, and it was hilarious.
And they all walk into the living room.
Yeah. Piper clarifies that she wishes she could tell everyone that she was a powerful witch.
Super powerful witch.
Yeah, super powerful witch, engaged to a white lighter and saving the world from evil on the daily.
More like the weekly, but okay.
Yeah.
Instead, all these nebulous high school people are going to see is that she's a loser who still lives at home with her sisters and her unemployed boyfriend. And she kind of is like motioning backward with her arm to Leo. And Leo just kind of has this kicked puppy look.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he looks at Prue, and Prue just kind of, like, dismisses him.
Yeah, she kind of dismisses him a little bit. And then she stares at Piper and oddly asks if Piper used a lot of hairspray to do her little coif that she's got going. And when the answer is no, she informs Piper that all is not lost. And that when she's done, Piper will be the hottest chick at the reunion.
Okay, so that question seemed to mean, like, a half, can we fix your hairdo? And half, were you huffing?
Yeah, it was
because like too much hairspray will make you lightheaded and make you irrational.
Yeah, but
I've experienced the same thing with too much spray sunscreen. You can't breathe very well.
Yeah, no, not so much. But I would just like to remind you of the phrase "hottest chick at the reunion." Just keep that into your brain.
Yep.
For the future.
She's gonna dip her into lava.
Mm-hmm. Piper questions her, and we learn that Prue is the one that turned Phoebe into a blonde.
And she says this with great pride.
Yeah.
Leo tries to say that they should invite Phoebe to join them, but Piper lets him know that finding out that your boyfriend is a demon and then having to vanquish him earns you some alone time.
Yeah. She leaves the room, and then Prue mentions that Phoebe is also kind of avoiding her due to the whole not really liking Cole thing and trying to warn her about him thing.
Leo asks what they do, and Prue says that Leo should try to help Phoebe with her demons, and she'll help Piper with hers.
Yeah, and they both start to walk away, and we jump cut to some glass test tubes being smashed by a hand.
Mm-hmm.
And the man who smashed them holds up his bleeding hand and starts talking to a woman in front of him really loudly.
And that's when I yell, Rain!
Yeah, he is instantly recognizable. And in a moment, we learn that the character's name is Kirken. So let me tell you about him right quick. Kirken is played by Rainn Wilson, and that is Rain with 2 N's because his parents were hippies.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in 1966 in Seattle, Washington. He has been acting since 1997.
So this is pretty early on in his career.
This episode of Charmed was his 5th acting gig.
Yep.
Yeah. Most people will, of course, recognize him from the American version of The Office. And he was also on 13 episodes of 6 Feet Under. And he played the lead in the short-lived 2015 show Backstrom.
And he was also on Star Trek Discovery.
Well, alrighty then.
Mm-hmm. Playing a villain, a delightful, mad villain. It was pretty fun, though I did not like how they tied up that particular storyline. It was just a little nonsensical.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will take your word for it. I have not seen that show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's a delightful romp. I recommend giving it a try.
Okay, then. I'll put it on my list.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we shall be fast-tracking a bit, because that's what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that Kirkin, who is wearing a blue silk top
with
and
a notched
black
collar.
Yeah, and black pleather pants, is an alchemist, and he made this woman from his own blood.
And he looks very young.
Yeah, he is very young. She is in a long sleeve blue shirt that's like falling off one shoulder and a matching blue skirt.
Like think romance novel cover.
Yeah, a little bit.
Bit. I mean, they wouldn't have used the term Romani, but we're gonna do that because slurs. Of like a Romani woman type thing that they might put them in. Or like a pirate lady. I don't know. Like there's a bit of overlap when it comes to quote unquote historical fiction.
Yeah. So she's a bit salty about being held captive by him, and he seems a bit fearful that the Charmed Ones were able to vanquish Balthazar because he's more powerful than either of them.
And she does this really great thing where she like raises her arms and licks her fingers, and she's like, "Is that fear I smell?"
Yeah. He threatens to remake her by sticking her back into her bottle, and we are shown an insert shot of a long neck green bottle with gold detailing.
Like a mini wine bottle that they just put some bling on.
Right. So here's the thing. When we first see this bottle on the table,
it's under a bell jar.
Yeah, it's under a bell jar. But my like immediate thought process is I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
That's where my brain went first. I was like, okay, we've already had a genie episode. This woman is not a genie.
No.
Okay, this is weird. But like the bottle, it seems like it kind of looked like, because it's just an insert shot. We don't get any like indications on its size. It kind of looked like somebody took a beer bottle and then reshaped the neck of it just a little bit, so it's more squared off. No, that's why I'm saying
it's a mini wine bottle.
Yeah.
Like you get the tiny little 4-packs of Sonoma or whatever at the grocery store.
I don't drink
And if
wine,
it was
so.
green, well, I know that.
Yeah,
but like
so
you see them
yeah.
at like Walgreens and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like if you had a green one of those, that you just like got the label off with some Goo Gone or hot water or something.
Yeah.
And just like wrapped some shiny metal trim around it a couple of times.
Yeah, bling it out.
And put a tiny little stick-on jewel on top of the cap.
Yep. Anyway, so he threatens to remake her. She decides that she has other plans and picks up a dagger and stabs herself with it.
Very improbably through the sternum. So either she's very strong or, they didn't really direct her on where to do it.
Yeah. He cries out as this like blue CGI gas type thing rises from her body and floats through the door, and he vows to find her, and we learn that her name is Tara.
And for whatever reason, Rainn Wilson is adding extra drama with his voice, like throughout this entire role, where he'll like roll his R's randomly.
Yes. Yeah, it's very
like think evil Dwight without glasses.
Yeah,
it's very that.
It's
low voice, kind of rumbly.
It's very much an over the top portrayal of evil.
It really is, and like he's selling it.
Yeah,
about 95%. Like there'll be moments where I'm just like, okay, that went just the slightest bit too far.
Yeah,
but I still enjoy it.
Yeah. Anyway, Tara is played by Paige Rowland.
Sorry, Tara was played by Paige Rowland.
Well, yes. This version of Tara, played by Paige Rowland, she was born in 1967 in Greenwood, South Carolina. She's been acting since 1995, mostly doing TV movies and single episodes of TV shows, but her longest running gig was a 20-episode run on the soap opera All My Children. She was also on an episode of the original 90210, which means she may have already met Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
We then cut to one of my favorite transition shots. It's very, very artsy. It's nicely artsy. We see a building and a street lamp in a reflection of a car window.
Yeah.
And then we pan to the left as a man in a pinstripe gray suit is talking on his Nokia cell phone via a wired earpiece. And I saw that and I went, wow.
Yeah, like the type before they had Bluetooth headsets where you would just plug it into your phone.
Yep.
And it had the microphone on the cord.
Yeah.
And the button to like end the call on the cord. Kind of like, the Apple earbuds used to.
Yeah. The
still
wired,
make them.
there's like the wired ones still do.
Yes, but like not the AirPods, just the earbuds.
Yeah, I can't do the whole AirPod thing.
Yeah, I can't either. Apparently, they work really well. I don't know, but like I'd just be worried about losing them.
Yeah, and besides, I have a thing with my ears anyway, where I actually have little plasticky silicone things that go over the earbuds, so they actually stay in my ears.
Yeah.
Because
I also have the small interior of ear.
Yeah, because I can't, like, my ears are weird, and I'm aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. So we're gonna fast track yet again, because that's how we do. We hear this guy. He's talking on the phone. He's talking about stocks and computer games, and then he stops to check his reflection in the glass of the building.
So we know he's vain.
Mm-hmm. And we see the blue CGI gas coming out from a drain and enter his body. And then Tara, in this man's body, hangs up the phone.
By saying, like, bye now.
Yeah.
And, of course, the actor has completely changed affect. It's really cool.
Yeah, and then we get the most unnecessary of moments.
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, Tara says she's never been a man before.
Which, that line was fine, but then she feels his crotch.
Just, like, puts a hand over the junk and goes, walking should be interesting, which I thought was a pretty good line.
It was funny, but it was unnecessary in the, like, she didn't have to feel his crotch to do that. You know what I mean?
But what if she wanted to?
I don't know.
Like, it kind of tracks for me. It makes sense to me. I don't know why. It just does. But it's much less ridiculous a scene than what we get when David Tennant is playing a man possessed by a woman in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Which is possibly one of my favorite lines. I'm beaten out of samba.
Yes. Too hot. Beaten out of samba.
Anyway, the man looks into the reflection of... Well, Tara looks into the reflection of the building and sees the non-possessed person who is glowy and wearing, like, a white shirt and pants.
Yeah, it's like white pajamas is kind of what it looked like.
White, completely nondescript pajamas, and they've got, like, a fan on him or something. A little bit, I think. And, you know, they've, again, got him on a glow. Yeah. And he is very confused.
Yeah, he asks what's going on.
And Tara's like, take me to the Charmed Ones. And the dude's like, the fuck?
Yeah, he has no idea what she's talking about. And as he sees somebody walking by, he tries to call out for help. And Tara says that she's the only one who can see him or hear him due to him being a trapped soul. And we go to the opening credits.
Yeah, this actor is doing a very specific type of vocal inflection to indicate that he is, well, that it's a woman.
Yeah.
That he's trying to act as. And it mostly just comes off as him acting... Well, I mean, would you call that gay? Like, it codes more as gay?
It's more like a stereotypical...
Yeah.
Gay, quote unquote, because it's a more feminine affect coming from a male, and therefore, and we automatically we have been trained to think man plus feminine equals gay, which isn't true.
No, it's definitely
but
not.
It's a stereotype. So the man doesn't get a name, but I'm going to tell you about him anyway. Our possessed dude is played by Andrew Bowen. He was born in 1972 in Boston, Massachusetts. He's been acting since 1992, and he's still going strong. He's mostly done single episodes of TV shows, TV movies, and voice acting in video games. His longest running gig was 25 episodes on the show Mad TV back in 98-99.
The opening credits show us that there's no Cole or Daryl this episode. They're both missing.
Yeah. It was kind of sad. Like, it's one of those where I had a feeling we weren't going to have Cole this episode because, you know, of stuff that's happened.
They need time to draw out that storyline.
Yeah, and I kind of understand also why we don't have Daryl this episode, because we don't really need him per se.
No, he's mentioned later in the episode, but he doesn't need to be there for anything.
Yeah. So we come back from the credits to a shot of tons of clothes all over what we are assuming is Piper's bed. Piper is looking in the mirror now dressed in a black dress suit.
With pencil skirt.
Yep. This time with opaque black tights instead of the earlier fishnets. And her hair is pulled back into a very conservative bun, and she is wearing a pearl necklace and matching earrings. Now, what part of this screams hottest girl at the reunion? I'm just saying. Just saying.
Well, based on the rest of the scene, I would say this was mostly Piper's fault.
Probably, but that's not the point. The point is that Prue was like, when I'm done with you, you'll be the hottest chick at the reunion. And then she now looks like businesswoman.
Although, thinking back on the rest of the episode, I didn't see anyone hotter. Not of the female persuasion.
Well, you know.
Maybe some more trendy, but not hotter.
Well,
Blue agrees. Anyway, Piper is being a very bad patient, and a very bad fashion patient, I should say, and is complaining that maybe they should go back to the Betsy Johnson outfit to be more of a cool club chick instead of classy club owner. And she does this thing where she, like, raises her shoulders and, like, scrunches down the chest of her suit jacket.
Yeah.
And then Prue says something about wrapping Piper in a sheet and sending her to the reunion as a Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So we've mentioned Betsy Johnson before, so I'm not going to tangent on her again. But Hare Krishna, on the other hand, is something new. The full name of the group that Prue is referring to is actually the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, or ISKCON. It was founded in New York City in 1966. It is a religious organization that has its roots in Indian culture. Most images of Hare Krishna followers are either in yellow or orange outfits, as well as having shaved heads. These, however, are not the only colors that can be worn. They're just the most recognizable because that's the colors that were worn back in the 60s and early 70s when Hare Krishna became a huge thing. If you've ever seen the movie Hair, the movie
Hare Krishna?
Well, the movie adaptation of the play Hair, they mention Hare Krishna in there, and you see Hare Krishna in there. It is fascinating to read about, so of course links will be on the website, and I'm including one for the Krishna store for all your Krishna consciousness supply needs.
I'll have to check that out. I like looking at shiny things.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the clothing and the difference between exactly.
Blue, you hate clothing. What do you know?
The difference between the clothing for men and the clothing for women in the color choices.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's in, like the girls get more like blues and
that's fun.
Creams, and the guys get like blues and creams, but they also get the orange and the yellow. It's just it's interesting, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Piper thinks that she can't go to her reunion and face all of those people. All of those horrific people.
Yeah.
And Prue's like, why do you care about what they think?
And Piper says, only a former cheerleader could ask that question. So Prue was both a cheerleader and class president.
Super
yeah,
popular.
She has no idea what it's like to not be popular.
Not only that, we find out later she was head cheerleader.
Yeah. Prue tells Piper that she's not the shy, awkward girl she once was.
No, she's the shy, awkward woman she now is.
Yeah, and despite her objections, she will go and have a great time.
There's a really cute sister moment where Piper says, "You are not the boss of me."
And Prue says, "Oh, I am too." And it just made me laugh.
And they do it in like
so
the same
much.
inflection.
Yes, it was so cute. I just loved it.
Mm-hmm. And then she says that Piper's reunion couldn't be worse than the date she had the night before because Prue always has to make it all about her.
Yeah. And she
say
says,
this lovingly.
Yeah, and she says one word, halitosis. And therefore he only scored a 2.
I think it was in addition he only scored a 2, not a therefore.
I don't know. Halitosis is the more medical term for bad breath. I love this as I was reading this. Halitosis can be associated as a symptom of anxiety and OCD.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Link on the website, blah, blah, blah. You know. Fast tracking again.
Piper says something about Prue making lists again.
Prue says that lists are good.
Piper says she can look around the reunion for eligible ex-football players wanting to date the head cheerleader.
And Prue says that younger men aren't on her list.
So she's apparently proving not to be a cougar. Although,
yes.
She's only a couple of years older than Piper.
Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway. Phoebe walks in wearing a red jacket over an orange patterned shirt and black pants under a belt that has like fabric attached to it in like a half skirt thing.
But it was like long too.
Yeah, it was floor length.
Yeah.
But it was like,
And it looked like it was made out of some kind of sari material.
yeah, possibly.
Like silk? Like,
Yeah.
Or satin or something. Well, silk.
Yeah.
It was less shiny than satin. Like, Rainn Wilson is wearing a satin shirt that people keep calling silk.
Well, it was like, it looked silky.
Yes.
But yeah, it's kind of like if she had a skirt that is just missing the front panel, is basically what that is. And her hair is pulled into a messy updo.
Mm-hmm.
She sadly asks if they've seen her glasses, and when they say no, she walks back out.
So Prue and Piper follow and ask if she wouldn't like to tend the bar at the reunion and make some yucky drinks for some ex-cheerleaders.
Right, which is when we realize that the reunion is being held at P3. Because of course it is.
Yeah, because apparently the Baker High class of 90 is like 20 people. Like, I don't know what the club limit is in terms of like occupancy, but it can't be over 100. It is not a very large space.
Well, it could be over 100, but not over like 150.
Certainly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like San Francisco is a large city. I would presume that anything that's a public school is going to have a very large class.
Yeah.
Like, my high school class was 675. And I would know that because I was number 675 alphabetically.
Alrighty then.
And we live in the burbs.
Yeah. I don't remember how many people are in my high school class. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Phoebe says that she's got schoolwork to catch up on and she'll be at the library all night. Prue says that they're here if she wants to talk, and she says that she knows, and Piper mentions that she hasn't spent more than 5 minutes in the same room with them for over a week.
Phoebe says that she needs to figure out some answers on her own and tells Piper that she looks beautiful.
Piper says thanks, and Phoebe tells her to have fun, and then she walks off. And then we time jump to outside as Prue, Piper, and Leo are carrying stuff for the reunion out to Piper's car. Prue has added a black leather jacket to her outfit.
A guy in a red convertible with like a dark top.
I think it was a tan top.
Or was it?
Yeah, it was a red convertible.
Brown.
A red convertible with a tan top.
Yeah. Pulls up in front of the house and names Piper. Like, full names Piper.
Yeah.
And we find out that this guy is named Justin Harper.
So let me tell you about him. Justin is played by Chad Willett. He was born in 1971 in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada. He started acting in 1993, and he is still going strong. He's mostly done TV movies and TV series, but he has had a full multi-episode runs on shows. And he's actually going to be showing up again in episode 13 of this season of Charmed.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Justin gets out of the car, Piper walks over to him, and they hug, and Leo asks Prue if he's an ex-boyfriend.
But Prue tells him not to worry because he had a huge crush on her and used to follow her around like a puppy dog.
Yeah. Piper
And
asks...
she's weirdly, like, delighted
Yeah.
and proud of this fact.
Yeah. Piper...
Cheerleaders.
Yeah. Piper asks Justin if he's going to the reunion. He says that he is, and he was just taking a trip around the old neighborhood. Piper says that they are just on their way to P3 for the planning committee, and then asks if he can help bring some of the food over because it won't all fit in her car.
Which is pretty much bullshit.
Yeah, so here's my question.
She just doesn't want to stack them that high.
Well, there is that. But here's my question. Why would you still be doing the planning committee the day of the thing? Like, I don't understand that. It should be planned by now if it's happening that night.
Maybe it's just the setup
portion.
I don't know.
Anyway.
None of this makes sense.
Yeah, and none of it really matters. He agrees to help. Piper walks back over to Leo, and Prue carries some trays of food over to Justin.
And then there's a fun little moment where Justin identifies Prue as Phoebe.
Which seems to deflate Prue just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
She walks off, and we pop back to Leo and Piper. Small bit of fast-tracking. Leo tells her that he's being called away.
She says she needs him to be at the reunion with her.
He promises to be back.
She asks for a double extra promise.
Which was adorable. And he says that he wouldn't miss it and says that he's going to have the prettiest date ever, which was also adorable.
Very. They kiss, and we pan over to a parked car that's parked basically, like, right behind them.
Yeah.
So in front of the house next door.
Yeah. Inside the car is the man whom Tara has possessed.
Who is not the man next door.
No. The non-possessed self appears in the rear view mirror, which this you can tell was the transcript. It says rear vision mirror. And can I also say the name Kirkin kept trying to autocorrect to Kierkegaard?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very funny. Anyway, he asked to be let go.
And he's having some, like, the actor is, like, acting like he's having trouble breathing, and it looks like someone misted his face with a spray bottle.
Yeah. Tara says that she needs to get one of the sisters alone because the transfer is a little messy. And the man says that he feels like he's suffocating.
And she kind of scoffs and goes, that's because your soul is dying?
Yeah, you should just stop fighting it.
Uh-huh. Actually, she's got... I'm sorry. Well, she, I don't know. Pronouns are difficult when you're possessed.
Yeah.
Let's just use she. She said she kind of has like a Valley Girl affect.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I'm wondering if this was the actor's choice or the director's choice.
You know, I don't know.
Because the actress who was playing Tara didn't really do that.
Nope.
Or is your eye itchy, Blue? He's like scratching in his face. It's really cute.
It's adorable.
Anyway, and he should just stop fighting. Yeah, she tells him to stop fighting it, and then she does this like exasperated push of the rearview mirror to like angle it down so she doesn't have to look at him.
Yep. Piper and Justin drive off, and Tara follows. So here's the thing: whenever Tara is possessing somebody, we will call Tara by Tara.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier that way.
Yeah.
So, we now jump over to a cemetery where we see a couple of people walking in front of a mausoleum. And I think this is
which
supposed
mausoleum?
to be... Yeah, this is supposed to be the same mausoleum where Phoebe faked Cole's death as we cut inside. That's how we know. But the outside looks a little different. It might be because we're seeing it from a different angle.
It also could be because it's been like a month.
Yeah, but like it looked... like the door was in a different place or the wall was smaller or something. Like it didn't look like the same.
That's fair. I'd have to take a look to
didn't look like the same.
But anyway, Phoebe is inside, and you can tell that the inside is pretty much the same.
Right.
Because there's a bunch of broken column like by the stairway up.
Yep.
That was there the last time. So I'm like, hey, continuity for fucking once.
Yep. Phoebe is looking at the hole in the ground where she burnt Cole's shirt. And
pothole in the ground.
Yeah. She crouches down.
A fire pit in the ground.
Yeah. She reaches down, like, reaches her hands toward the hole for a moment before she talks to the air as if Cole is there. And she says that she can't stand lying to her sisters anymore, but isn't sure how to tell them the truth.
She stands up and kind of tiredly leans her butt back against... Thank you. One of the tombs?
Yeah, one of the little coffin-esque
It's not really a
things.
coffin. I think it's called a bier. I think we mentioned this the last time we were in this mausoleum. I think they're called biers, like B-I-E-R.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, she leans her butt against it. There's a beat, and then she has a premonition.
Yeah.
And in the premonition, there's a woman with some glowing red eyes who grabs a small child from a man who's, like, distressed.
No! Yeah.
And throws a ball of blue lightning at him.
Yeah, and they're all dressed in, like, old-fashioned clothing.
Like Victorian era.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever Victorian era, Victorian-esque era they could manage to get from wardrobe.
Yeah. The premonition ends, and Phoebe looks at the coffin that she was leaning against, and she wipes off the dusty cobwebs and sees Benjamin Coleridge Turner, 1859 to 1888, carved on it.
How convenient.
Yeah, she looks around the mausoleum with the new knowledge that these are the graves of Cole's family.
At least his human family.
Yes. We then jump over. We find ourselves in P3 as a large banner for the reunion is being put up on the wall, and there's a blue curtain behind it, as well as some like blue and white balloons and large floral bouquets with like big blue ribbons.
So I guess we know the school colors.
Mm-hmm.
Prue and Piper come down the stairs carrying the trays of food, and Piper, just as she's about to get to the bottom of the steps, spots a blonde woman standing across the room wearing all blue.
Yep. She says that this is Missy Campbell, homecoming queen.
And she says it with a large degree of dread.
Yeah, she's a little nervous or whatever. So, Missy is played by Sabine Singh. She was born in 1974 in New York City. Her father is Indian and her mother is Austrian, which leads to some stunning facial features.
I did not even pick up on that.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Yeah. She was active in acting between 1999 and 2010, with her longest gig being 158 episodes on All My Children.
So, like, a year's worth.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that this is now the second character from All My Children.
Yeah.
The second actor from All My Children.
Missy is, in addition to wearing a fairly lovely blue dress that's very trendy, her hair is pulled back in a very specific way. A very of-the-time way. The base of it is a ponytail, a like high ponytail, where there's two braided strands leading to the ponytail, and to top it off, the scrunchie is fake hair.
Yeah.
Which I had one of those, and believe you and me, it was very fucking difficult to find something to match this head.
I believe it.
Because, like, I'm red, but I'm not that red.
Yeah.
But I am red, so brown doesn't work.
Yep.
But yeah, like, that was very of the early aughts.
Yes.
As I recall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Along with the, like, stretchy floral headbands.
Yeah.
Which I had one of those that I was clearing out when I was moving. And guess who was the model for the package of this? It was Alexis Bledel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because she was like a teenage model.
Well, then.
And she apparently worked for Goody, I believe was the brand of this headband. It was just really funny because I just, like, pulled this out of my cabinet, and I'm just like, well, fuck me, that's Alexis Bledel on there. Looking younger than I have ever seen her before.
Yep.
Her face was very, very round.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, back to the show. Prue gives Piper some sisterly reassurance and makes her set down the trays and then kind of shoves her over to Missy. And Prue goes up to the bar where Justin is sitting and takes off her jacket. There's apparently a moment of continuity error where Prue doesn't have the trays in her hand when she gets to the bar, even though she had them like a second before, and they're nowhere to be seen. The food literally disappeared.
Yeah, at least we see Piper put the trays that she was carrying down on a table.
Yes, this is true. Piper says hello to Missy by name, and the actress playing Missy does this really great, like, bemused look. You know, that look where...
Bemused and confused.
Well, I mean, that's one of the definitions of bemused.
I just like the...
Bemused is one of those words that in itself is a contronym. Like chuffed. Or, I know there's another one, but like one of those words where the two definitions are opposite each other.
Okay.
That's a contronym, as opposed to a synonym.
Well, alrighty then. Anyway, Piper introduces herself, reminding Missy of the classes that they had together.
And what finally gets Missy is the vague recollection that Piper was the girl in the back of the room who used to draw on her jeans.
I also did that in high school, so yet another thing that Piper and I have in common.
Yeah, the first comment Missy makes after this is, "Your skin has really cleared up. Accutane?"
Yeah, Accutane is a brand name for the chemical medication that is...
Isotretinoin.
Thank you. It is used to treat severe acne. Piper says no, that it's just been 10 years, and then she asks if she can help with anything.
Like she doesn't own the fucking club.
Yeah. Bitchy Missy points out the pile of trash on the floor and asks Piper to get rid of it.
Yeah, Piper has a lovely awkward moment while saying yes, where she acknowledges that she even knows where the dumpster is.
Yeah.
Because she owns the fucking place. Like, why wouldn't she have opened... I would have loved if she just opened with that. Like, hey, Missy, it's Piper Halliwell. I own this place.
Yeah. Like, you know, the owner...
Or maybe closed with that. I think closing with that would have been better.
Yeah. whatever. It didn't happen, but we wanted it to. Anyway, so we cut over to the bar where Prue and Justin are sitting as Prue goes in to run in, save the day.
She hops off the bar stool.
Yeah, she needs my help, that sort of thing. But Justin tells her that Piper's got to figure out how to do things on her own sometime, which seems to confuse Prue.
And then he mentions that to Prue that that she had to finish Piper's speech for her when Piper ran for freshman class secretary because she got so nervous. And this is the point at which I noticed that Prue is actually wearing a bra.
Prue,
like one of those balconette type thingies where the straps are like all the way to the side.
Yeah, super tiny strap. I think it was black.
Yep.
Prue then realizes that he does indeed recognize her and asks why he called her Phoebe.
He says that she plagued his high school existence, so he had to pretend not to remember her name to knock her down a peg.
Yeah. We then get an insert shot of Tara walking down the stairs in her man suit,
who is a suited man.
I lovely put that in my notes. It was one of those where I had
suited man suit.
Yeah, I had this image of you remember in Men in Black?
Yes,
because he was wearing an Egger suit. That's what I had. That
D'Onofrio.
Yes, it just made me laugh. Anyway, so Tara's walking past a few posters on the wall, and one of them was for the album Happy Pills by the band Candlebox. This was the last album the band would make before going on hiatus for 6 years.
Was this a band you listened to?
No.
I decided to research this because it was there. Okay.
Right. So I'm not going to really tangent on the band, but I'll put the links on the website as per usual. I just think it's interesting how many bands stopped being bands after being on this show.
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
It seems to happen a lot. Where it's like, yes, we're on we got a spot on Charmed or whatever, and then they break up and are never heard from again. Or they form other bands. It's just interesting. Because that has happened a lot.
Yeah.
And we've only had the club for...
Maybe the show didn't cause it, but maybe that was just a thing that happened with this era where the conceit was, there's a club of some kind so we can have, like, popular music in.
Exactly. And it was
maybe this was the, last dying breath of some bands.
Well, I think part of it was that they were like, well, what's the band that has, a big following on the radio right now? Let's get them in because it's popular. And then those bands wind up being one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
And wind up breaking up. And it's just interesting how many times that's happened.
I haven't been keeping track, but, like, most of what I remember is stuff like the Goo Goo Dolls or Marvelous 3. Like...
Well, yeah. But, like, Goo Goo Dolls and Bare Naked Ladies and Paula Cole, like, those were names that were around for a little bit. But, like, Marvelous 3, I didn't know who they were.
I only knew them because of Charmed.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I did get one of their albums. Well, I got it from the library.
Yes.
Which is less helpful than buying the album, but still helpful. So, do that, people.
Yes.
Use your local library. The librarians need you.
Yes.
More now than ever.
Yep. Anyway.
That's been my PSA.
Tara spots Piper cleaning up the trash and kind of smiles before heading down the stairs, and we see her walk over to the other side of the bar, and there's a cutting board with some sliced citrus just sitting on the bar in front of her. And
I'm thinking, that's gonna sting.
We go back over to Prue and Justin at the bar, where Prue is questioning how she plagued his existence.
And he's like, I was your willing slave, and you knew it.
Yeah. But that she did him a favor because he no longer goes for women that make him drool as they hold too much power.
Yeah, and he tells her that this item is number 1 on his list.
Which makes Prue smile because he also makes lists.
We then see Piper picking up all the trash. She's done it remarkably fast. I don't know where she found that trash bag. And she's just shoving it all in.
Yep.
And then Prue goes, oh, no, and jumps off and goes to ask her what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah, Piper says that Missy asked her to take out the trash.
Prue reminds Piper that she owns the place.
Yeah, and she can tell somebody else to do it.
But Piper's like, no, all these people are making me feel like I'm 16 again, and inferior, and invisible.
Yeah. Prue offers to beat them up, which reminded me of something that my brother did for me once, which is kind of sweet. But of course, Piper turns her down. We grew up in a house, well, in an apartment that had awnings over the windows.
Yeah.
And it's like gray, like aluminum awnings.
Yeah.
And my brother, because there was a couple of kids who were just being jerks and like following me home and being mean and yelling things at my window and that sort of thing. And my brother, 3 years older than me, we did not get along, but every once in a while he showed a glimmer of being a nice guy. And he put together this concoction of crap that I don't even know what was in it.
Was
all I
it
remember,
slimy?
well, all I remember is that it had at least one egg.
Yes, it's slimy then.
It had like cayenne and cinnamon and like green food coloring. Like I don't know what all was in this thing, but it was this like little bottle of stuff. And he opens up the living room window, yells at these kids who are like making fun of me, yelling at me from the window, whatever. Says something about, like, you better leave or I'll throw this at you, whatever. Uncaps the bottle and goes to throw it, but because it's a very small window that he's trying, and my brother is a tall guy.
He hits the edge of the window.
Well, what happens is that it doesn't go out so much as it just goes down. And so the awning of the window below us is now covered in a big green splotch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was there because there was no real way to like clean it. Like we didn't tell anybody about it. We just kind of ignored it. And so that green splotch was there for about 3 years.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, because it was like dyed into this awning.
Well,
like,
yeah, food dye.
Yeah. It was crazy. And then, like, the only reason that it was no longer there is because they took the awnings down.
Yeah, because those are a bad idea.
Yeah. It was just very funny. But so this little, like, Prue offering to beat them up, beat them up one by one, that sort of thing. Like, it reminded me of my brother being like, I will defend your honor. Give me a moment.
Yeah. Anyway,
Piper turns her down.
And then decides that she is going to take out the trash and get a grip and then come back in and talk to them about the streamers and balloons because what are we at prom?
Yeah. Piper then picks up the trash bags and heads outside while Prue goes to sit back down at the bar. And
Tara picks up that knife that was used to cut all the lemons and limes.
Yep, that knife that was just left there, a la convenience.
They're busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to outside. Piper comes out the back door, which does not close again. Which seems to me like a security risk. Also, even if it did close, it would still be unlocked. Also a security risk.
Well, there is
How do you prevent people from sneaking into the club, I ask.
Yep.
And
the dumpster right by the door is already full, so Piper heads to the other side of what is supposedly an alley. And we see, like, construction stuff all around. There's, like, drop cloths and orange cones and hard hats. It was very weird. Yeah. We see Piper put down the bags on top of some tarps, like, drop clothy things. And then she, like, wipes some dust off of her clothes. And then our Tara dude walks outside.
And kind of walks up next to her as she's standing at the dumpster. She, like, startles and breathes in.
Yeah.
And then just before she's about to say something, he just kind of reaches up and stabs himself through the heart.
Yep. Piper, of course, then freaks out.
Well, she does, I should say. It's Tara.
Tara stabs the man suit through the heart. Piper, of course, freaks out as this man falls to the ground and kneels in front of him in an attempt to possibly help.
But before she can touch him and get blood all over her hands, the blue CGI gas rises out and flows into Piper.
Yeah, she then stands up and thanks the man for giving her a lift, and then covers him up with one of the a la convenience drop cloths.
Mm-hmm.
She then looks into some broken glass, and we see non-possessed Piper's reflection showing up, also in that, like, white, glowy, outfitty thing.
And her hair is down.
Yeah. And Tara looks at Piper and says that she better be as powerful as they say you are.
And you can already see that Holly is doing some really great, like, space work.
Yeah.
And just, like, posture differences.
Yep.
It's very cool.
It was very nice.
And vocal inflection.
Yep.
Very nice.
It was a lovely, lovely acting choice.
Yes, it was.
We go to commercial break. And when we come back, we pick up right where we left off with Tara in Piper's body, walking back into the club.
She kind of pauses and walks back a step and then looks at her reflection and goes, "Remind me what our sister's name is." And Piper just refuses to do anything. She's just like, leave my body now and I won't kill you.
Yeah, I won't have to vanquish you. Tara says that she's not as weak as she seemed.
And then says, "That'll change," as she walks off.
Yeah, and we cut over to Prue and Justin at the bar. Back to the fast tracking, and it's going to get just a little bit complicated. So the names Piper and Tara will be said a lot in the next few minutes. I hope no one gets confused.
We will try to make it as obvious as possible.
Yes. Prue and Justin are talking about how badly each of them scored on the list that they made, and then Prue sees Tara as Piper gulping down shots of alcohol.
So Prue runs over to her, says it's not the best way to deal with things, and then Missy comes over and asks Piper to move the hors d'oeuvres to another table in a very condescending voice.
Yeah. Tara agrees.
Missy walks away.
And then Prue tells Piper to stand up to Missy.
So Tara says, "Hey, bitch, move them yourself."
Yeah.
And then Prue pauses.
Says, "That was great, though the bitch part may have been a little much."
Yeah. There's the sound that comes with Piper's power, or there's
it's a magical sound.
There's
basically
a magical whoosh sound.
Yeah.
And then Piper grabs Prue's arm and asks for help.
Prue asks what's wrong, and then Tara takes back control and says that she isn't feeling well and should go home.
Prue says that she's not going to let Piper skip the reunion.
And Tara says that she just needs to rest for a bit before coming back.
So Prue gives in and tells her to be back by 6 or she'll come and get her and it won't be pretty.
Yeah, Tara agrees, and they each walk away. We cut back outside as Kirkin walks up. He has now added a long black jacket to his outfit.
That is much more, I would almost call it a trench coat. It's a duster.
Was it floor length?
Ankle? Like, it was pretty much.
If it was ankle length, then it was a duster.
Yeah.
A trench coat usually ends at your knees.
That's fair.
He has his hand outstretched.
But yeah, it's much more modern than his satin shirt.
Yeah. He has his hand outstretched, and we hear like an odd noise, kind of. It was a kind of magical noise
like
typey thing,
tinkly, pulsy type thing.
Yeah, and he whips his hand
and as he's moving, side. Yeah, as he's moving his hand, like the noise changes, and then you hear it kind of go like whoosh, and then stop.
Yeah,
and he's pointing
at the man who's laying on the ground next to the building, and so he removes the drop cloth and throws out his hand, and a bright yellowish light comes out of his hand and shines into the man, and he speaks something that sounds vaguely Latin. Mm-hmm. Do you want to try and read it?
Caducus ex animas, vita ethos anima.
Yeah, and then like the man comes back to life. Now, according to Google Translate, hashtag not sponsored, that vaguely Latin translates to life, ethos, person falling down dead.
And me just looking at it goes cadaver, dead, life, spirit, live.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is pretty much the effect you want if you're fucking an alchemist or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. It was just interesting how it translates, but I just loved the person falling down dead. How it doesn't translate. Yeah. It was just the phrase of person falling down dead. Like, I was immediately going, what cover band would that be? You know? Like,
metal. It would be something metal.
Yeah. Yeah. Person Falling Down Dead is my Disturbed cover band.
There you go.
There you go.
Anyway, I can't call him his character name. It's just Rain. Rain asks who the spirit who possessed the man replaced him with. And the man looks down, sees the knife in his chest, which was not put through the sternum. Yay.
Yeah.
But honestly, could have been turned sideways and gone through the ribs much easier.
Yep.
And starts freaking out.
Yeah. Kirkin pins him to the wall, yelling at him to focus. And he says that he was replaced by a woman with brown hair whom they followed from the pink house on Prescott Street.
Despite the fact that he was told the name Hallowell and promptly forgot it.
Yeah.
Because even dead, he's a tool.
Yeah. Kirkin lets him go and asks what her plan was.
The man says that she said something about a revenge killing, which Kirkin says is predictable.
Yep. The man asks how he's still alive.
And so Rainn Wilson goes, "Not still,
again.
And then
he
kills him with another burst of that light.
Yeah, and covers him with the same drop cloth.
And he just kind of
walks away.
tosses it over him. Not lays it over like Tara did, just throws it.
Yeah, just
so we don't know how well it landed.
Yeah, just haphazardly tosses it.
Mm-hmm.
So then we jump over, because we can't stay in one place too long, to the Historical Society, which my brain immediately read as Hysterical Society.
Yep.
Because that's what it does.
Uh-huh.
And we pan down to see Phoebe standing in front of a desk where a woman sits looking at an old newspaper where we see a large picture of Benjamin Coleridge Turner.
And what's really funny about this picture to me is that it looks more like a mugshot.
A little bit.
Than anything you would have had in the Victorian era. Because, photography was quick enough then that you didn't have to stand still for, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that quick.
Yeah. No.
And they would have, having your picture taken was an event.
Mm-hmm.
Back when, not everyone could afford a fucking camera. So, they would often do the whole 3/4 profile thing or whatever, or, they'd turn their shoulders or whatever. But this is, fully straight on, nothing. It looks like a mugshot.
Yeah.
Where he's not wearing a hat.
Yeah.
I feel like he would have been wearing a hat if this were a...
Possibly.
I don't know. Anyway, it's literally just a newspaper article talking about the dude's death. And the woman says that there's no date of death for his wife, which is odd because there should be a record for it. And I'm like, but it's a newspaper.
Yeah.
You're not looking at a family tree or annotations. You're looking at a page from an archived newspaper, likely a copy that was put into a giant book that you're just searching through, because this is part of a book that she's looking at.
Yep.
Someone looked at a bunch of, someone scanned it into microfiche and then printed them back out on non-acid paper.
Yep.
And put it into a book.
Yep.
To be hey, here's this area for this entire year. It'd be really cool, actually, a 365-page book of every front page from one particular newspaper for that year, which would be really cool, because, hey, what was typical for the front page?
Yeah.
I saw an article earlier today about a school that was being demolished, and they found a time capsule from 1927, and it was just, a little steel box that was properly, waterproofed, I guess. And it was really cool looking at the front page of that newspaper. There's something about baseball on it, and I'm like, wow, the style for newspapers has changed and yet not.
Yep.
For front pages anyway. But
Very cool.
This looks properly old.
Yep.
All of the type is small, including the name of the newspaper.
Yep.
Because apparently that was a thing that really changed over the centuries.
Yep. Anyway, Phoebe asks about a baby and is told that they have a son named Cole, born in 1885, but there's not a death date for him either.
Which, again, wouldn't be there in a newspaper article.
Yep. She then says that there must be some sort of clerical error because she can't imagine that he's still alive and kicking at 115, to which Phoebe agrees.
But, he could be. 115 is not ridiculous. 150... That would be ridiculous.
But 115...
It's improbable.
Is very improbable.
It's very improbable. But...
Because I believe the oldest person so far has been 109, I think was how long. I
feel like there's been someone older.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I didn't look it up, so
that is not in my purview.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't own a cat.
I'm just going to leave that one alone.
Okay.
Anyway, I think that this character is on IMDb as file clerk and therefore would be played by Adrienne Alvarez, but I know nothing about her other than the fact that this was one of only 2 acting gigs that she has credit for on IMDb. The other was also in 2001, and it was a TV movie called The Apostle Paul, the Man Who Turned the World Upside Down.
Cool.
So there you go.
I mean, technically there's no up. So, how do you know it's turned upside down?
Yeah. Anyway.
North is arbitrary. Well, I mean, not north being arbitrary, but, deciding that north is up is arbitrary. Yep. Why can't south be up?
Because.
Imperialism.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, we jump over to the manor via a shot of the grandfather clock and pan over to Tara walking into the house.
Fast tracking again, Tara seems worried, looks into a mirror, and tells Piper that he's going to find them.
Yeah. Piper repeats herself that she's not going to tell Tara what her powers are.
Tara walks into the living room and looks out the window, saying she doesn't know if Piper is stubborn or stupid, and he's going to kill them if she can't fight him.
She says that she can feel him getting close, and she looks into yet another mirror. Piper says that she'll help fight him if she can get out, if Tara will get out of her body, but Tara says that she can't survive without a body and would rather Piper's soul die rather than her own soul dying.
Of course she would.
Yeah. Tara then walks into the wicker room, and Piper says that her sisters will figure it out what she's done.
Tara reminds Piper that her sisters wouldn't be able to see her, and Piper reminds Tara that she was able to control her arm at P3. She tries to go on a spiel about how she'll get stronger, but Tara's like, no, you'll get weaker and die in a few hours.
Yeah. Piper says that if she dies, her sisters will wish that...
We'll make her wish.
Yeah, we'll make Tara wish that she had died as well.
Tara realizes that Piper's sisters care a lot about her.
Yeah,
enough to help her
come fight off an angry demon. And so she walks into the kitchen and she picks up the phone and
she dials 411.
Yeah, apparently she knows how to dial for an operator because she asks for the number for P3. And Piper, which we have as a reflection in a large pot on the stove, which makes me smile, asks what she's doing, and Tara says that she doesn't have a death wish, so she's calling for some help.
Cut over to P3. Prue is behind the bar as Missy comes up to her, and Missy kind of leans over, and she's like, and she says in the same condescending tone that Prue needs to help the DJ set up. So Prue pretends to scratch her nose, but really uses her power to make all of the balloons fall out of that netting they were held by. And Missy's like, that's the third time that's happened. And she kind of sounds like she's blaming Prue.
Yeah, a little bit. But it was, for me,
it was like the kind of blame wherein she can't be responsible for anything because she's an entitled suck-up asshole.
Yes, it was definitely more of a, how did you do this? Because I can't be at fault.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Because anything going wrong looks badly on me, and I can't be looked badly on, so I have to blame someone else.
Yes. But once again, Prue is using her powers for no good reason other than personal gain.
Personal gain.
And seemingly gets no consequences from that.
Yep.
Anyway,
Prue is smiling, looking very pleased with herself.
As Missy starts picking up the balloons.
Yeah, with some of the other people.
Yeah.
And Justin comes up to the bar, and he's like, I think Missy's going to have an embolism.
Yeah, I'm not going to tangent on that, but I will link to the wiki.
That or an aneurysm.
Yeah.
She's going to blow a gasket.
Yeah. Prue asks
angina. She's going to have angina.
Okay. Prue asks Justin to hand her some of the glasses that are on the table, which he does, and he mentions that it's weird about the balloons falling again because Missy used, quote, like 3 pounds of tape.
And Prue immediately counters with, Scotch tape, hardly sturdy.
Yeah. Justin says that it must have been a poltergeist.
Which makes Prue pause, and she's like, believing the supernatural should be on my list.
Yeah.
And at this point, the phone rings. Prue answers it.
And we'll cut back and forth between the manor and P3 during this call. Tara apparently knows Prue's name now.
Well, Piper said it.
Did she?
She did. She said, Prue, help me, when she grabbed her hand.
Oh.
That was the first time we heard Prue's name from
You're
that
right.
point.
You're right. I forgot that she said, Prue, help me.
Yep.
Anyway, she says that there was a demon in the house when she got there.
And she's the tone of voice she's using is attempting to be very
out of breath
and dramatic.
Yeah.
But she keeps rolling her eyes.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is how I feel on some phone calls.
Yeah, love that. Prue asks if she froze him. Tara is very excited about learning what Piper's power is and tells Prue that he got away. She then describes Kirkin and says that he'll be back.
She describes him as having wild hair and bulging eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, Rainn Wilson does not have bulging eyes.
No, not so
much. If anything, he has very sunken eyes. Well, not that sunken, but they're kind of small and a little close together. And if anything, his brow is huge. But yeah, wild hair, I'll give her.
Prue tells her to check the Book of Shadows for a vanquish. She'll grab Phoebe and meet them back at the house.
Tara tells her to hurry. He could come back at any minute, and then hangs up. And Tara asks Piper where the book is.
Yeah. Piper says that she made a big mistake by calling her sisters home. Tara threatens to kill her and possess her sisters one by one until she gets help. And Piper tells her that the Book of Shadows is in the attic.
So Tara says, "Good choice."
Yep.
It was a really good line read. And it felt actually a little pipery.
A little bit.
Like with the spin she added to it.
Yeah,
like
she
the literal
spins
physical
around
spin.
and heads out of the kitchen to go to the attic. And again, because we can't stay in one place too long, we jump back over to the Historical Society, where Phoebe is still reading that same newspaper page. Her cell phone rings. She answers it to Prue, who is driving. Again,
fast track it again.
Yep. Prue tells her that Piper found a demon in the house.
Phoebe asks who it was after almost asking if it was Balthazar.
Yep.
Prue describes him and says that she's on her way to the library to get Phoebe.
Phoebe says that she's actually at the Historical Society, and Prue seems slightly annoyed by that, but says that she'll pick her up there and asks that she be outside waiting. And they each hang up, and we get an exterior shot of the manor that pans down from the roof to see a mailman walking down the sidewalk in front of the house.
With one of those, like,
little
mail
pushy,
caddies.
Yeah, little pushy things.
Mail prams.
Yeah. And we pan over as Kirkin comes into view with his hand in the air pointed toward the house, and there's that same weird, like, noise that we heard before.
Yeah.
And we cut inside as Tara comes down the stairs, and I love this scene.
Yeah.
She says that they can't wait and wonders why she can't do the spell alone.
And Piper, from a reflection in the hall mirror, says it's a power of 3 spell.
Tara asks, what kind of witch can't kill a demon without her sisters?
Piper responds, what the hell kind of demon has a panic attack when her boyfriend comes to visit? So apparently she's been fully informed about, like, Kirkin and, like, who he is in relation to her.
Yeah. It was so lovely, this moment back and forth. It was just like, the delivery of those lines was just great.
Mm-hmm. And just then, Kirkin barges through the door.
Piper tells Tara, this is when you freeze him.
But Kirkin hits her, or not, it didn't look like a hit. He was too far away. It looked like he just, like, used powers to, like,
yeah, like,
throw
he kind
her.
of, like, whacks her with something.
Yeah, and she falls to the floor.
Yeah.
And he starts taunting her and pulls out a dagger. She says that he just pissed off one of the charmed ones and then freezes him. At which exact point,
a la convenience,
Prue and Phoebe walk in.
Yeah. Prue calls out for Piper. Tara gets up saying that she has the spell, and she kind of walks past Kirkin to get to them and hands them a piece of paper. And they say the
I
spell.
have to say that I really love the facial expression Rain is wearing when he got frozen.
Yeah.
Because she's immediately just said, "You've pissed off the charmed ones," and he kind of looks up like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it was very nice. It was very well done.
But anyway, they say the spell, which is
let flesh
short.
be flesh and bone be bone. The alchemist shall transform none.
Slant rhyme, not really.
Cruel scientist of evil born, with these words face the fire's scorn.
Mm-hmm. And he
not exactly the most poetic of vanquish spells.
No, it probably would have rhymed if it was in Middle English.
Yeah.
Or if you were using OP, which is original pronunciation for all you Shakespeare nerds out there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Kirkin, like, halfway through the spell, Kirkin unfreezes and, like, turns around, and he drops Tara's bottle. We get an insert shot of it hitting the ground. Mm-hmm. And once again, it looks like a larger bottle. But it's that same green bottle with the gold accenty stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, he drops to his knees, and his face skin is, like, bubbling randomly.
Yeah.
And it's turning kind of red, and he's, like, kind of
boiling
steaming
a little bit. Yeah.
He looks like he's boiling.
Yeah. And he cries out that he could have helped them, but now she'll destroy them.
And then he
burns and boils and disappears.
Yep.
And we see Tara, like,
kind of smile.
Yeah, she smiles for just a moment before bringing Piper's face back to that calm, like, indifferent face. And we go to commercial break.
Yep.
When we come back, we see the girls walking into the attic. Phoebe is now holding Tara's bottle, which is much smaller than I thought it was going to be from every other time we've seen it. It is, like, hand-sized.
Yep.
It is just slightly bigger than hand-sized. And all right, Blue. And I was not expecting it to be that small. Especially since, like I said, my first thought process was I Dream of Jeannie, which is a very large bottle. Mm-hmm. But I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. It's an essence bottle.
Not a genie bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like aromatherapy oil.
Yeah.
Except larger bottle, because those are tiny.
Yeah. Anyway, so fast track again. Prue goes over to the Book of Shadows.
Tara wonders why they're bothering to look up Kirkin because he's dead now.
And Prue and Phoebe mention the whole she-demon thing.
Tara says that demons lie and mentions something about them getting rid of the bottle.
And Phoebe says that sometimes demons tell the truth.
Which kind of makes Prue give her a little look,
Yeah.
and then it's immediately dropped.
Yeah.
Tara takes that moment to try and leave, but as she gets to the door and tries to open it, Piper breaks through, slamming the door, and kind of softly saying, "Prue, I'm dying."
Yeah, it was a very weak, kind of slightly whispered, like, you're not really sure what's happening.
Yeah, Tara covers it by saying that she's dying to get out of these clothes and asks if they're okay letting her leave. And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
So Phoebe wonders what's up with Piper, and Prue kind of like lays her arm over top of the pages of the book, and she's like, well, what's up with you?
Yeah. Why did you lie to us about being at the library?
Well, she says, why did you lie? Panic face, Phoebe. About going to the library.
Yes.
Relief face, Phoebe.
Yeah. Phoebe says that she wanted to look up Cole's ancestry and knew that Prue wouldn't approve.
And she kind of grabs all of these pages out of her bag that she, I guess, copied. Hi, why are you poking my face?
Blue, chillax.
He's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, she pulls out like these papers.
Yeah, she pulls out these papers of all of the stuff that Cole's dad did.
Yeah,
because he was like a
statesman.
A statesman, which it basically like a senator type.
Yeah, and Prue says that she's not going to judge, which we
all
know is a lie. And she wonders if Phoebe still has feelings for Balthazar.
Phoebe corrects her and says that she still has feelings for Cole,
which is the human side. And Prue then reminds her that he tried to kill them for 2 months, which makes him a bad guy. Phoebe, of course, reminds her that he didn't kill them, which is a good thing.
He had a good side.
Yeah.
And she shows her these pieces of paper from her bag, and she's like, I just really
have
need
to believe in his good side right now.
Prue asks her to focus on the demon at hand, so Phoebe agrees.
Yeah. We cut to Piper's room. Tara has now changed Piper into a red leather halter top.
Red pleather halter top. It was fake.
Okay.
And there's a long beaded fringe at the bottom because also, hey, midriff.
Yeah. And black leather pants that made her butt look amazing.
They really did.
Yeah.
And they were like laced up the front.
Yes.
And they were
a laced up crotch, which that just does not seem like it'd be comfortable.
No. Also, this was a much higher rise than I was expecting to see out of this era. But that could just be like Holly wouldn't have been comfortable in anything lower.
Yeah, could be.
And that might have interfered with like later scenes.
Yeah.
That we'll mention when we get there.
Yeah. Her hair now is down and it's a bit wavy, like it had been in braids.
Uh-huh. Or she'd taken the like
a crimper to it.
The waver iron to it.
Yeah.
One of those 3-barrel jobs.
Yeah. Fast tracking again because that's what we do now.
Piper asks to be let out now that they've killed Tara's boyfriend.
Tara says that the only way she knows how to do that is a dagger to the heart.
Or otherwise killing someone.
Yeah.
Piper says her sisters can make a spell to get her out safely and will let her go free in exchange.
Tara says that she has decided not to give up on the chance to be one of the infamous Charmed Ones or the ability to freeze, saying that it'll be easier if Piper just doesn't fight it, and then we see Leo start to orb in.
Piper says that if her sisters don't figure it out and destroy Tara, that her boyfriend, Tom, will.
Leo finishes orbing in, and he is in a gray suit with a blue shirt and a red pattern tie. And he looks very, very good.
The suit is kind of like almost a gingham, like a tiny, tiny gingham pattern.
Yeah,
like the weave was interesting.
The weave was very interesting, but and it looked just slightly too big on him. Like the shoulders were just a little too large. It wasn't bad, and he looked good in it. But it was just like that, like maybe like half a size too big.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Tara calls him Tom.
Yeah,
and he questions that, so she asks for forgiveness and kisses him passionately.
He stops her. She asks what's wrong, and he says that her kisses seem different.
And she feeds him a line and tries to brush it off and kiss him again.
Yeah, and then he stops her and asks what his name is.
So she turns around, walks a foot, and then zaps him with that yellow beam thing. So he flies into the wall. We see the wall move a little bit.
Yeah.
Because set.
Yep. And he lands on the ground. And Tara says that he is too cute to kill, but that Piper will be gone by the time he wakes up.
And then she walks off to go to the party.
Yeah. And we cut back to the attic. as Prue and Phoebe are still flipping through the Book of Shadows. Phoebe has finally removed her red jacket, and we can actually see that the shirt that she's wearing, this orange shirt, is short sleeve and has a bit of like a bell sleeve.
It's more of a puff.
But it's like...
No, it was like a
sleeve,
boho thing.
It was like a bell sleeve above the elbow.
I just remember it being like a puff, and it's also like a bit midriffy.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's this lovely orange color that I really like on her.
Yeah, it was actually a really cute top.
Prue is reading about alchemists from the book, and Phoebe wanders over to the window just in time to see the top of her sister's head in a new outfit walking to her car.
Yeah, in like, I think she had paired it with like pink heels.
I did not see.
I vaguely remember the heels being pink, but
that's the last time we will see them.
Yeah, I was like, I could be wrong, but that was my vague recollection.
Mm-hmm. Phoebe
mentions that it's weird for Piper to have just left without Leo, without saying goodbye to them, or at least showing them her outfit.
Prue, a la convenience, finds the mention of the bottle in the book just then, and we get a little exposition.
She says that it's an essence bearer.
It's used to capture or store a life essence, which is similar to a human soul, but made fabricated.
Made in a lab.
Mixing lab, she says.
Yeah, mixing lab, which was just weird. And that it can possess any living being, but will eventually kill a pre-existing soul. Mm-hmm. And then she seems to have like a moment of clarity, like a bit of an epiphany, if you will.
And she starts saying not full sentences.
Yeah,
like she says, "Oh, and earlier she," and then she wouldn't.
Yeah,
and like she keeps not finishing her sentences,
which makes Phoebe not quite grasp what's happening.
And so Prue has to out loud say that Piper is possessed. And we now know that they have to write a dispossession spell.
Yeah. And then we jump over to our Coyote Ugly moment.
Favorite moment of the episode.
Yes, with Tara in Piper's body dancing on top of the bar at P3.
To unbelievable. If we're talking about the original airing. We don't even know it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But, like that song doesn't have the same beat structure. So it doesn't come off as well, but
I don't think it had words either.
No, it had words.
Or if they did have words,
it was just softer.
Yeah, it was so nondescript that I didn't even recognize it as a thing.
They did use the word unbelievable, but it wasn't. If it was the title of the song, they were using it in a different place.
Yeah,
in terms of the verse. And there's a couple of great moments. You know, there's a lot of hip shimmying, and there's a couple of great moments where Piper just like pours some Stoli into random dudes' mouths.
Yeah, there's like all the guys are like whistling
like one of those
and
pour
cheering,
spouts.
And it really is. If you've seen the movie Coyote Ugly, it's like they just pulled that scene in the bar
and come to
just
think of it,
put it here.
This is the first time we've seen the ceiling of P3 because they had to because they were doing an up angle,
right?
And there's apparently a bar to hold on to while she's dancing.
I think that it's supposed to be a water pipe or something. Like
it was too shiny.
Well, it's a metal pipe, but it's like it was supposed to be something else. Like I
don't think so.
It wasn't supposed to be just a bar that she could hold on to.
I think they were literally just put a bar up there because it was supposed to be reminiscent of Coyote Ugly, and they have to have something to hold on to while they're standing all the way up.
Yes, but I think that in the context of the prop department, yes, they just put a steel bar or whatever, like a pipe up there so that she could hold on to it because of the Coyote Ugly moment. But I think it was set dressed so that it was supposed to look like it belonged there.
And see, what I'm saying is that it looked like it belonged there, but not as a pipe that carries anything other than people.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm not talking Soylent Green people. I'm talking about people holding on to it. It was just way too shiny to be like a functional pipe.
I don't know.
It looked more like a railing that they just stuck up there.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like to me. Like it's meant for hands, not for liquids.
Okay.
Other than the liquids that come on hands.
Well,
which would be bad
that's
idea.
That's just gross. Anyway.
Well, it'd be also a bad idea if you're standing up and you fall.
Yes.
Anyway, she doesn't have shoes on.
Yeah, no, she's dancing on the bar barefoot.
Uh-huh. And there's a...
Like, she does this thing where she, like, kicks a bottle down the bar, and then does more dancing, whatever, and then grabs the bottle, like, between her legs and, like, pours a shot into a guy's mouth and then, like, into another guy's. It was very much, if you've seen the movie Coyote Ugly, it was very much like pull the scene from that movie and plop it in here, and it was...
Exactly. And with the original track on, the "you're unbelievable" line comes right after she kicks a guy over.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hooting and hollering going on.
Yeah.
And okay, my second favorite moment of the episode is when Prue and Phoebe come running down the stairs. Phoebe has her jacket on again.
Yep.
And Phoebe saying that she's not telling Prue she's wrong, she's just hoping Prue is wrong. And they get to the bottom of the stairs, they look up, Phoebe gasps and goes, "Hope dashed."
Yes, it was the best line read. I loved it so much.
Uh-huh.
It was great. So, as they're planning their next move, a woman comes up to them asking if they're Piper's sisters.
A woman with a very soccer mom haircut?
Yes,
like a blonde
very
lady?
blonde, yeah. And this woman has no IMDb.
Actually, sorry, no. A very Meg Ryan haircut from You've Got Mail.
Okay.
Did you not see that movie? Shut up.
Not in a very long time.
It's that type of pixie cut thing. Stop.
Okay. Blue hush. I don't know. Anyway, this woman has no IMDb credit, even though she had a line, so I can tell you nothing about her.
But yeah.
So when they say that they are Piper's sisters...
Hopefully her family recognizes her, and that's what's important.
There you go.
Anyway.
When they say that they are her sisters, this woman says that she might know what Piper is going through.
Because she's been sober for 5 years. And Prue looks at Phoebe and gives like a shrug.
Yeah. And then this woman, she hands Prue a card and tells them to have Piper call her if she ever wants to go to a meeting.
Mm-hmm. And so she walks away. They see Piper dancing with a guy because she's apparently gotten off the bar now that the song has ended.
Yeah. And they mention that it's a good thing Leo isn't there. Missy then walks up to the guy that Piper is dancing with, or that Tara, I guess, is dancing with. And this is apparently her husband, Dennis.
Who has eyebrows larger than anyone should ever have.
And again, no IMDb credit. So,
oh well.
Yeah, no idea. Anyway, he says that he's sorry, but he doesn't
Gallagher.
actually...
Peter Gallagher. He is Peter Gallagher eyebrows.
Okay.
From, not Billy Madison, Mr. Deeds. There we go.
Okay.
One of the only Adam Sandler movies I've ever seen. They're just huge, bushy eyebrows. They're fucking caterpillars on there. Venomous caterpillars. Sorry, poisonous caterpillars. Don't touch random caterpillars, people. Some of them can really fuck you up.
Alrighty then. Anyway, he says that he's sorry, but he doesn't actually stop dancing with
and
Tara.
And he doesn't really say much of anything.
Yeah, and then as Tara freezes Missy.
And then continues to dance with Dennis, who keeps dancing with her like nothing is fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And then Prue and Phoebe walk up, and Phoebe knocks into Missy, which makes her spill her drink all over her lovely blue dress.
Yeah, she unfreezes, and like the drink goes spilling, and she kind of like has this look of like, how dare you?
And then rocks off.
Yeah.
I was about to say run, but no, she kind of stalks off.
Yeah, she storms off. Phoebe apologizes to Missy, and Prue tells Dennis that his wife went that way and points him in Missy's direction.
Yeah. They tell Tara that they need to show her something and
they take her into the alley. Yeah. And they start to read the dispossessing spell, which is, host soul, reject the poison essence, let love's light end this cruel possession. So once again,
interesting.
Slightly slant rhyme.
Yeah. And just a couplet. Very short.
Yeah, and Tara, like, takes a small step back, but nothing happens.
Kind of like someone blew an air horn vaguely near her, and she's just like, ow.
Yeah. Phoebe realizes that they need the power of 3. Prue threatens Tara to get out of Piper. Tara says that she has Kirkin's powers due to her being made from his blood, and that along with Piper's powers, she's stronger now.
Phoebe starts calling for Leo. Tara says that he's been knocked out.
Yeah, and she goes, is that the boyfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Phoebe then tries to threaten her with the bottle, but Tara says that the bottle won't work unless she's not in a body.
Does she say she's not a genie? Like,
no.
I feel like there was something she said for that.
Nope. She also says that to get out of Piper, they're going to have to kill her.
Prue uses her power and flings Tara up against a wall above a dumpster. She falls down and back onto the ground.
Yeah, and Prue tells her again to get out, and Tara pulls the knife out of the dead body that she left in the alley before.
And it's perfectly clean.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of blood on it, but not nearly as much as there should be.
Yeah. And she goes to stab Piper's chest after, like, kind of looking at them and going, you wanted this?
Yeah, and Prue tells her to stop. And Tara, like, stops just as the knife tip just is about to hit her skin. And she stops and she goes, okay. And she flips the knife.
Grabs it by the
blade. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. And then as she's like, I thought not, hands the blade to Prue and walks back into P3.
Though that is the correct way you're supposed to hand knives to other people. Handle first.
Yes, handle first, but don't grab the blade as you're doing it. Like, you don't grab the sharp bit. That's not how you do it.
She was kind of like grabbing the spine. Although I thought it was fun character work for Holly. She's like, I'm gonna flip this shit.
Yeah, it was nicely done. I want to know how many takes it took her. So we go to commercial break. And when we come back, we are inside P3, and the party is still going strong as Prue and Phoebe walk back inside.
Tara is dancing with some other dude.
Yeah.
Who may or may not be married. We don't know.
Yeah. So, again, once more with fast tracking. Prue says that they have to go back to the house to get Leo.
They walk over to Tara to try to grab her wrist to bring her along with them, but she pulls away.
Yeah, and so Tara, like, pushes Phoebe, and then she and Prue start, like, slapping each other.
Some dude yells out, "Catfight, dude!"
Yeah.
In that voice.
Yeah, and Prue, like, hits Piper.
Karate chops. She karate chops Piper's
her in the neck. Like, just, like, full out, like, wha-cha.
We see Missy standing over by the stairs, lean over to some brunette in a dark dress and says, I knew they weren't that close.
Yeah, it made me laugh so hard that I had to pause the show to collect myself.
Because, of course, Missy has to be right about everything.
Yeah.
Justin walks over and Prue's like, Piper's probably possessed.
Yeah.
Help me get her to the car?
Yeah, so they help Tara up. They help Piper's body up. And Justin throws her over his shoulder, and they head out, and Phoebe yells to people that the show's over, you can go back to what you were doing.
There was a great moment where they're getting her up off of the floor, where you can just see Holly, like, get up on her knees, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess she probably had to help to make it go faster, but, like, this person is clearly not dead weight.
Yeah.
Like, you see her butt rise up off the floor, and, like, there's no way she'd have been able to do that unless it was her.
Yep.
Which makes no sense as a sentence.
That's all right. No worries. Anyway, so we cut to an exterior night shot of the manor that pushes in through that tree with no leaves. And Phoebe and Prue lay the unconscious Tara Piper hybrid.
It's just Tara.
Yeah, on the couch. And
in the living room.
Yep.
That nice floral couch.
Yeah. Prue reminds us of what Tara said about having Kirkin's power and asks Phoebe to trust her on whatever plan she's made up in her head, asking her to find Leo and bring him downstairs.
Phoebe leaves the room. Prue picks up a knife, puts the bottle on the coffee table. She then walks over to the mantle of the fireplace and places the knife on top next to a very cute little photographic portrait from the 1920s of a married couple.
And she puts it blade facing out and facing toward Piper.
She then kneels down, possibly sitting on the coffee table. I can't tell.
Yeah. She's next to the couch, next to Piper's body.
And whispers something about fixing her and bringing her back. And then she stands up, takes a step back, and asks for forgiveness.
And then she uses her power, and the knife flies itself into Piper's chest.
Which, of course, wakes Tara up.
Yes, but it lands exactly in the center of the band at the base of the shirt.
Which is effectively right below her solar plexus.
Yeah. Like
it's below her boobs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. They probably just did it there because they didn't want it going into skin.
Yeah. They had to cover somehow the blood pack is basically like
pretty much.
This is the only spot we can put this so that we don't have to like do a whole mess of thing.
But right at this moment, Leo and Phoebe rush in, and Leo yells, no! And he goes over to Piper as Prue grabs Phoebe and ducks her down
behind the couch.
Behind the chair across from the couch.
Yeah, behind the chair.
That giant armchair that's not as big as my giant armchair.
Leo reminds Prue that he can't heal the dead, and he pulls out the dagger.
Out, and the
knife, yeah.
He pulls out the knife, and the part of the shirt where it had been sticking was, like, sticking up.
Yeah.
And it just keeps sticking up, like, it doesn't go back down at all.
Yeah. And then, like, the blue CG gas comes out of Piper's body and goes into Leo's body.
Prue tells him that now he can heal the dead.
Yeah.
Tara, who is now in Leo, asks if there was a sibling rivalry she failed to take into account.
Prompting Phoebe to tell her to shut up.
And this makes, well, Brian do this, like, lovely face, like, kind of thing.
Yeah. I do have to admit, I really, really loved Brian Krause as Tara.
Yeah, and he does this, like, push in on his chest that kind of happened with the actor playing the suit.
Yeah.
The other man suit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, did Brian watch this? Like, did Brian watch this?
I'm assuming that it was. I'm assuming it was a director's choice.
Fun. That would have been fun, though.
Yeah. I'm assuming it was a director's.
If, like,
choice.
all the actors who were playing Tara at various points, like, watched each other do it, and they're like, okay, great, so this is, like, how we do Tara.
Yeah,
that would have been cool. Yeah. Anyway, Prue tells Tara to bring Piper back, and she'll get to keep Leo's body. Or she'll kill him and bottle her up. Yeah.
And reminding Tara that she's got nothing to lose at the moment. So, her sister's already dead. What's one more body?
And Shannon's doing a great cry right here.
Yeah.
Her eyes are, like, rimmed red, but not so red that she looks ugly, which I'm not sure Shannon could even manage.
Yeah. Tara asks for the bottle first, but Phoebe requests the resurrection first.
So Prue and Phoebe walk out from behind that chair, and Prue kind of holds up the bottle.
In that, like, it's here, waiting for you.
It's here, and the second you do this thing, I will hold it out to you.
Yeah.
So Tara starts chanting, and she does that chant from before.
Yeah, that vague Latin-esque.
That bright yellow, like, beam of light comes out of Leo's hand and goes into Piper. Piper comes back to life with a very sharp breath.
Yep.
Prue gives Tara the bottle.
And they
run over, switch places.
Yeah, they run over to Piper, and Tara promptly smashes the bottle. Now, here's the funniest thing, is the act that happens and the sound that happens don't really go very well. No. Because you see Brian as Leo, or as Tara, whatever, throw the bottle down. You hear no sound of the bottle hitting the ground. And then you see his foot stomp down on the bottle, and that's when you hear the glass break.
And it sounds like a much thinner, larger glass item than it was. Like, it should just be kind of like a crunch, like what you hear at a Jewish wedding when they...
Mazel tov.
Yeah, when they mazel tov.
Yes.
And crush the glass in the, like, handkerchief or whatever.
Yes.
Napkin.
It's usually in a little baggie, but yes.
Or that. Yeah, I've seen it, like, wrapped in napkins before, but that could just be, like, media stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was wrapped like a burrito.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into
I understand the having of the bag because that's easier.
Yeah.
And I have seen that happen, Sarah and Danny's wedding.
Yeah, it's usually wrapped in some sort of cloth and then they push it into a bag.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the cloth keeps the pieces together, the bag keeps the pieces in that cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So glass don't get everywhere.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just one of those where it's like he did the physical, like, throwing of the bottle, and it looked like it was with so much force that it was going to break when it hit the ground, and then it just doesn't. And there's no sound of it hitting the ground.
It was a wood floor.
That's not the point. The point is there was no sound when it hit the floor.
True, very true. There should have been at least, like, a clink.
Yeah, exactly. And
of some sort.
There was nothing. Anyway,
the girls all say the dispossessing spell with Piper kind of like looking at it slant ways from lying down on the couch.
Yeah.
And Tara tries to stop them with a zap, but Prue deflects it into the mirror over the mantelpiece.
Yeah, and like I looked at that and I was like, oh, that poor mirror. 7 years bad luck.
For Tara. She doesn't have 7 years left because they finished the dispossessing spell.
Yep.
The blue gas comes out of Leo, and then, baby, you're a firework. It turns into a firework, is what I'm saying, guys.
Yeah, it explodes into like a little million pieces. And can I just say though, in that moment of the dispossessing spell, Brian's acting of exactly Blue. Brian's acting of being dispossessed. I hope I hope against hope that I can find a GIF of it.
Oh my gosh.
To put
we
up
could
on the
probably
Tumblr.
make a GIF.
If you want to try and make a GIF.
I don't know how to make a GIF.
Neither do I.
I have the DVDs.
Yeah, I don't know
so
how
it's
to make
possibility.
a GIF. I don't know how to make a GIF either. But if I hope...
I made exactly one GIF, and it was literally Wilt Wheaton's face on Goku powering up, and that's it.
Okay.
That's it I've done with Photoshop. I've done, like, going onto sites making GIFs before, but that's about it. That's mostly from YouTube videos.
Okay. I don't know how to make a GIF, but I hope that I can find a GIF of this moment of Tara leaving Leo's body, because the acting that Brian was doing was so over the top and beautiful. It was just great, and I loved every second of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Leo rushes over to Piper
after they yell, she's still bleeding.
Yeah,
and so we see him kneel down. Piper's shirt is still like pushed up. And then we get a close-up shot as he's healing her, and it's completely flat against her stomach.
Yep,
again.
It heals the shirt as well as her
never
body.
Understand
and
why
I just
it does
think
that.
it's hilarious.
I think it's just like, hey, wardrobe, we gotta do this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just easier in the that way, once she's already healed, they could just, they don't have to deal anymore.
I think it's probably because often enough, when they're healing someone, it's because not only has damage been done to the clothing, but stains have been done to the clothing.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to get those out and still have the damage be left, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
And they don't want to, like, get a second one and have to, like, make the exact damage without the stains or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason. It's probably just a wardrobe consideration.
Yeah, could be. Anyway,
he finishes healing her.
And they have a lovely little hug.
Mm-hmm. And then we cut to P3 as people are slowly walking out.
Yeah, there's a one guy and then like two little couples are walking out. It was a slow trickle, so you can kind of tell that the place is being shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut inside to the girls and Leo walking down the stairs, and Piper is still in the leather outfit, but she has now added a long black jacket over top.
And I assume she's wearing shoes at this point, but I can't tell.
Yeah. Prue apologizes that Piper missed the reunion.
Phoebe mentions that she put on a good show with the table dancing and catfight.
Much to Leo's amusement.
Yep. He kind of is like, table dancing?
And she's like, don't ask.
Man doesn't understand the Brady Bunch. He does not understand Coyote Ugly. That's just how I say it, okay?
Yeah. Phoebe and Piper and Leo sit down at the bar while Prue heads behind it to get them some drinks. And she puts a couple of Miller beers on the bar, which, of course, made me have to look up Miller.
Of course you did.
Of course. The Miller Brewing Company is an American company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They have been around since 1855, when Frederick Miller emigrated from Hohenzollern. Hohenzollern. From Germany.
Hohenzollern.
Yeah, he came over from Germany the year before, and he purchased the Plank Road Brewery for $2,300.
Which was probably a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
It was probably like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. It remained in the Miller family until 1966, until Miller's granddaughter Lorraine, who objected to alcohol, sold it to the conglomerate W.R. Grace & Company. Now, it didn't say how much they paid Lorraine for it, but 3 years later, it was bought by Philip Morris, which is now called Altria,
Okay.
for $130 million.
She probably got a couple of million.
I hope so. Especially in the 60s. Anyway, apparently PepsiCo was also bidding on it, which kind of made me think of, like, what were they trying to do, like alcoholic Pepsi?
No, they're probably just trying to expand.
Yeah, no, PepsiCo does a whole bunch of stuff, so probably not. But it was just an interesting theory. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that happened to them, and they were, like, bought by a couple of other beer companies, and it's all a little confusing to actually tangent on it. But, I will link to all of it on the website. It's very interesting if you like going down a wiki tangent rabbit hole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Piper thanks Leo for knowing her kisses.
And kisses him. And then she thanks Prue for being brave enough to kill her.
Yeah. Phoebe says that she's going to call Morris about the dead body in the alley, which reminded me that there was no Daryl in this episode. Uh-huh.
And then Phoebe walks away, and Leo follows.
And he kind of has this look like there's something up with her as he follows her. Mm-hmm. Justin walks up to the bar asking Prue for an explanation about the bar brawl.
And she jokes about him waiting all this time for her.
Yeah. And then says something about him, like, I do believe you're blushing.
And
that sort of thing.
And then tells him that he'll get an explanation when he calls her.
Yeah. He walks away. Piper reminds Prue that younger guys weren't on her list.
And Prue pretends to not know what list she's talking about.
Yeah, and they clink their little beer bottles together. And then we cut over to Phoebe at the payphones. And I think I've tangented on payphones before. I can't remember. I'll link just to be safe. Not going to tangent on it now.
It's interesting, though, because this is, like, in the area that has been designated as, like, the back office. Or just, like, the back, like, an employee area.
Well, they usually have, like, payphones by, like, the bathrooms.
Yes, but that's not where the bathrooms are.
Yeah.
But no, like, the bathrooms are in a different area that we've seen.
Yeah.
Because, like, pretty sure, they went in there to, like, follow some demon or other. Like, when Phoebe had the balloons full of the green goo.
Yep.
Anyway.
Leo comes over to check up on Phoebe, who's having a bit of an existential crisis about Cole and her feelings.
Yeah, and, she says that Cole seduced her and she let him. But Piper was possessed and fought the entire time.
And
because Phoebe's obsessed with false equivalencies.
Yes. Leo has my favorite line from the episode. Seduction is subtler than possession. It's harder to fight.
True. And then he reminds her that no one knew Cole was evil and all that, and when she found out, she vanquished him.
And she says that he's still alive.
Waits a beat, with a confused Leo face.
For me. He's still alive for me.
The worst cover-up.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah. And she walks away, and we end on a shot of Leo's face before going to the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
I just, the line of seduction is subtler than possession, I kind of want it, like, embroidered on a pillow. I just like that thought.
You know what I want embroidered on a pillow? Behold, the field in which I grow mine fucks. You will notice that it is barren.
Yes.
That or whatever Judi Dench makes. Judi Dench does rude embroidery pillows.
Yes.
I love it.
Yep.
Anyway.
So, normally I don't mention the international titles, but I just had to let people know that the Russian title, there was 2 different titles for this episode. One translates to Feral Sister, which kind of, okay, I kind of get it. And the other translates to Piper is a disgusting coyote. And I just needed to share that with people. Other people had to know. Because it made me laugh.
That's hilarious.
So hard. Piper is a disgusting coyote. Like, what?
Yep. Anyway,
so that's the end of the episode, which means we are on to our ratings.
Yep.
Would you like to go first?
Sure. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 frisky fringe. I just love that. I would never fucking wear it, and honestly, Piper shouldn't be wearing it either. But that shirt and the fringe, the beaded fringe. I like the beaded fringe.
Okay. I am giving this also a 9 out of 10. Lack of coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But coyotes were never the point.
Yep.
In any meaning of the word coyote.
Yep. Nope. So, with our ratings done, we are on to outfits. So, for me, I realized that Prue and Phoebe were both wearing the exact same outfit the entire episode, so there's no real choice there, except for that I did like Phoebe's outfit better without the red jacket on.
Yeah, it was pretty cute.
Yep. And Piper's leather outfit, for sure, was the best.
Leather, but one.
Yeah. It was the best outfit.
Uh-huh. It was real nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Good shit.
But that's it. There's no more. We've done our ratings. We've done our outfits.
Yeah.
So we're on to social media.
Yeah.
Yay. So, as per always, you can find all of the links to everything on our website
at charmchats.com.
You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
All the links for everything will be on charmchats.com, as well as in the show notes, all that good stuff.
And if you're feeling particularly generous and would like to throw a couple bucks our way, we have a Patreon, and that is at patreon.com/charmedchats.
Yes. And in any tier, you can join our Discord.
We got one of those.
We do indeed have one of those.
And now I know how to use them.
Yeah. It's actually really, really simple. And the best part about Discord is that you can ask us about anything.
Yeah, we got a section for like spoilers, like if you want to talk about episodes that haven't been that we
haven't covered yet. Yeah. We have an off-topic section, so if you want to talk about something like Harry Potter or Star Wars or Star Trek or another podcast that you like, that's where that goes. We are going to keep the Discord as Patreon patrons only for a while. Eventually, we will open it up to everybody. Because we want to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and I enjoy talking to people, and Discord is a beautiful place to do that. And the best part, and this is the most lovely part, is if you are on our Discord server, if you message us on a Sunday morning when we record, you can ask us questions about the episode that we're recording that day and have them answered right then.
True. You won't have to wait 2 months.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Or 4 if we really get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. But,
no.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's free to join the Discord if you're a patron. It's a little weird. But again...
But again, it's at any level.
Any level, including the $1 tier.
Yeah.
And the other way that you can join the Discord is if you become a sponsor. So if you have something nerdy, geeky that you would like to pay us to promote.
Yep. We are shilling ourselves out
for
ad revenue.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, hey, it costs money to do life.
It does.
Because capitalism.
Yep.
So we're going to join in some benevolent capitalism ourselves.
Yeah.
That isn't Patreon.
Exactly. So, yeah. There's that. Speaking of Patreon.
Speaking of which,
we have a new patron. Now, in all honesty, this announcement for this patron should have gone out in the last episode, but audio issues are a thing that happen every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
You know. So, Samantha Joe.
Yeah?
Thank you so much for being a patron at the $1 tier. We shall now shout your name into the ether. Samantha! Yeah.
Thank you.
You're awesome. I think that's everything.
I believe it is as well.
I'm fairly certain. Oh, wait, no. You can email us as well.
Oh, yes.
At charmchats@gmail.com. You can ask us stuff there if you have any questions about anything at all. Send us an email. I check that a couple of times during the week. So, and I try to reply as soon as I see the email.
And I try to reply whenever you show me the email.
Yeah. So, there you go. And last but not least,
we have merch, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Those of you who might have seen it on our Twitter, maybe you've already checked it out. We also put up a few examples on Instagram, but pretty much we just ticked every box
on
possible,
yeah,
and then adjusted for the logo itself. So the logo can be found on pretty much anything.
Yeah, and it's a brand new logo. It was hand drawn. Well, digitally drawn for us.
Lovingly
drawn for us by Kimberly Adams. She is amazing. We have already linked her stuff on Twitter. She is awesome. We also have a couple of other catchphrasey type things that we did.
There's one of blue, because I know some people were asking for that, and if you have any other ideas of stuff we could maybe mock up or put up or just shut up, I don't know. Let us know.
Yeah, if there's any quote that we say all the time that you'd want on merch, or anything like that, just let us know. Send us a tweet, send us an email, let us know. Our merch can be found it's a little bit weird because it's not under Charm Chats.
Yeah.
But, I already had a Redbubble account, so might as well. It's under redbubble.com/people/waterflame. I will, of course, link to all of that in the show notes, on the website, everything.
And so far, we've only got the 4 designs. We've got the regular logo. We've got
a cartoony
version of the logo. We've got a la convenience. And we've got the thing of blue.
Yep. Got familiar?
which I ordered stickers of because I want stickers of my own dog's face.
Absolutely. I also ordered stickers of that because I want stickers of your dog's face.
Yes, I know. Well, I ordered the 4, so it's got... If you order 4 or more stickers, you get a discount, guys.
Exactly. It's quite fun.
So feel free to hop on over, check it out, let us know what you think.
Yeah. But on that note, I think we're done.
Mm-hmm.
So until next time,
Sleep tight. Don't let the warlocks bite.
bye.
Bye.
Phoebe, Piper, and Prue, they've got evil to slay and some potions to brew. So we'll see where it's at next time with Kendra and Kat on Charm Chats.